In this video, I'm going to show you how a single file can silently compromise a Windows system without exploiting any vulnerability. We're talking about HTA-based malware droppers, a technique still actively used in targeted attacks today. Before we talk about the attack, we need to understand what an HTA file actually is. HTA stands for HTML application. It's a legitimate Windows feature that allows HTML and scripts to run directly on the operating system instead of inside a browser sandbox. This means HTA files can interact with the file system, run commands, and access system resources. Now that you understand what an HTA file can do, let's look at why attackers love using it. Attackers use HTA files because they are trusted, flexible, and often overlooked by basic security controls. They don't need to exploit a bug, they simply abuse a built-in Windows capability and rely on social engineering. So how does this actually look in a real-world targeted attack? In a targeted attack, the attacker crafts a file specifically for a single victim or organization. The file may look like an internal tool, an invoice, or a support document. Once opened, the HTA acts as a dropper and silently executes additional actions in the background. At this point, you might be wondering why this is considered so dangerous. Let's break that down. The real danger of HTA droppers is that they often bypass traditional antivirus solutions. There is no exploit, no obvious malware installer, and no warning to the user. The system is compromised simply because Windows trusted its own feature. And this isn't just a theory, this technique is actively used in real attacks. HTA droppers have been used in ransomware campaigns, espionage operations, and targeted corporate breaches. Once executed, attackers can deploy backdoors, steal credentials, and move laterally inside the network. So now the most important part: how do we defend against this? Defense starts with the right mindset. Many attacks don't rely on advanced hacking techniques, they rely on abusing trust and misconfiguration. The first and strongest defense is simply removing the attack surface. Simply by disabling HTA. If HTA files are not required in your environment, they should be blocked entirely. This can be done using group policies, registry restrictions, or endpoint security tools. Technical controls alone are not enough. The human factor is critical. Users should be trained to recognize dangerous file types. Any file ending with .tar should immediately raise suspicion and be reported. Most attacks start with email, so let's address that next. Email gateways should block or quarantine high-risk attachment types by default. HTA files should almost never be delivered through email in a secure environment. When prevention fails, detection becomes critical. EDR solutions monitor behavior instead of signatures. Suspicious script execution, command spawning, and unusual network activity can reveal HTA-based attacks early. Limiting user permissions can dramatically reduce the impact of an attack. Users should not work with administrative privileges. Even if an HTA file executes, limited permissions can prevent system-wide compromise. Droppers usually need to communicate externally, and that's another opportunity for detection. Monitoring outbound traffic, DNS requests, and abnormal connections can expose compromised systems before serious damage occurs. For security professionals, there's one final rule that cannot be ignored. Never open suspicious files on your main system. Always use isolated virtual machines or sandboxes for analysis and testing. HTA malware droppers prove that attackers don't always need exploits, they just need trust. Strong security comes from awareness, configuration, and layered defenses. If you found this video useful, like and subscribe for more real-world cybersecurity content.